All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Well, I'm a fight like this, you know. I can be good all the time, you know. But it's like Jimmy Gibbs got me right tonight for this fight. Psychologically, he got me feeling, believing in myself. I felt really strong tonight, believe me. I came in at 16-8, I know. Heaviest I've ever weighed in my life. But it's only because I had some breakfast just before the weigh-in. Breakfast? Yeah, like around 6 eggs.
So where does that take you now? Because you've won and lost the British title.
That's former British heavyweight champion HUGHIE explaining this. The heaviest he'd ever been in his career was 16 stone 8. He weighed in, and he said that's the strongest he's ever felt in a ring. And it's very inaudible, but he says he had 6 eggs for breakfast. If you listen properly, he had 6 eggs for breakfast. Yeah, not 1, not 2 or 3 or 4, 6. So let's not say people can't or don't ingest that much eggs. I wasn't interested in Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul until I started watching the press conference. And this is dedicated to those who keep saying boxing is dying. And I'm talking about people who live in America who say boxing is dying. Remember to always add, boxing is dying in America, because it's not dying nowhere else. In fact, a lot of territories are enjoying their most successful run of putting on boxing events since this post-HBO era in America. Bella kept talking about, oh, America, the Mecca, we've got to hold this fight. Listen, Saudis are slowly taking the sport over. Slowly. I wasn't interested in the event. Then when I saw Devin, when I saw Mike Tyson, when I saw Derek in full garb, I'm like, I'm listening to the press conference now. I'm hearing Mike Tyson talking about the promoters, the managers. They work for us. We should be paying them, not the other way around. I remember Mike Tyson doing commentary back in the days when he was champion. Dwayne Thomas, John the Beast Mugabe. Why hasn't Mike been fronting boxing over there at Showtime ESPN? Why hasn't Mike been in the front? Pay him whatever he wants. You would have retained more fan attention just with his presence there. Doesn't make sense. Derek was talking about significant fights he had. And out of a £300 purse, he barely took 30 G's out of the purse. So now, this becomes a global event. It's no longer just the influencer event. It's no longer that. So Jake Paul said it would be cool if the WBC ranked me. If he beats Tommy, obviously. But he said he's not in control of it. And he's not in control of it. A lot of people are mad about it. How does it work, though? If Tommy wins, does Tommy get ranked as well? Or is it just Jake? I'm not really interested in the fight. I'm more interested in the event, which is a little contradictory, but, you know. I want to see Makabu versus Badou Jack, though, on the undercard for that WBC Cruiserweight title. I do want to see that. Carl Froch obviously getting the itch to get back in the ring, but let's go the long way around it. You see, your domesticated pet dog, when you unleash he or the bitch in the park, they will run enthusiastically around the park, chase other dogs with wild abandon. For a minute, it believes they are that same wild dog before they were domesticated. You call it, come back, and it's hard to get it back, you know what I mean? You don't want to come back. But soon enough, it remembers. Fireplace, nice warm rug, nice bowl of dog food, water, family petting it and giving it all that attention. Then he comes back to the owner. Yeah, put me back on my leash. I'm done play a wild dog for now, because he knows his role. And Carl Froch hasn't fought since 2014. Derek Chisholm said Carl's been out the ring for 4 years. Nah, Derek. It's 9 years. He's 19 years older than Jake Paul, who is 26. Carl is 45 years of age. You can say whatever you want about influencer, YouTube boxing. I don't like it. I don't like this. The fact is, if me or you go to fight Jake Paul right now, and I'm talking about the average person, I'm not talking about the exception. If you're the exception, fair enough. I'm not talking about on road, where you can get your boys or weapons or what. No, I'm talking about in a boxing ring, gloved up. But you know what's going to happen to us, right? If you're honest with yourself, you know what's going to happen. Jake's been training. He's been fighting. Carl's got a nose job. He still works out. But is he doing that hard sparring that he used to? Is he really pushing the limit to make that 168, putting his body through the ringer? Is he still doing that? Is that what he wants to do? See, Carl is the wild dog, or was the wild dog, who's been domesticated but wants to still feel like he's the wild dog. And Jake may well beat the fuck out of Carl Froch. Like Derek said, you go in there, Carl, you pull a hamstring or a ligament, you know what I mean, you get punched on that hooter, and all of a sudden you realize, I shouldn't be here. I should be hugged up with the wife, doing whatever I do with my new life after boxing. I shouldn't be in here.
Carl Froch, if you listen to me, stay the fuck away from that ring, from that young lion. He's gonna eat you up.
Alright, let's say it happens before Carl's 46. The bookies will make Carl a big favourite, and rightly so. He'd be expected to win. But what's to say he wins, and it's a really tough battle where Jake is just hanging in and giving it his all. Blood and guts. Because all that world title experience is great. It is great. But when your time is past, it's past. And when youth is trying to impose itself, it's a very powerful element. Yeah? Very powerful. What if Carl lands his best shot and he just bounces off Jake? Worries. 8 3-minute round. First round, Carl might just look like the old Cobra in her. The old Cobra. And then bam. Hit the wall. Pain. Adrenaline wears off. You start questioning all the reasons why you wanted to do this. The young man wants to fight, but the old man knows he can't. The two-headed beast that rages in Carl Froch right now. So your receipt is from Stan Johnson, Gerald McClellan's fill-in coach after he and Emmanuel Stewart fell out. Your receipt is he said Nigel Benn avoided drug testing after knocking out Gerald McClellan post-fight by pretending to faint. That's your receipt to say Nigel Benn took steroids. Stan Johnson reckons he took some of Nigel Benn's blood, what was on the canvas. How did you know, and how do we know it was Nigel Benn's blood or McClellan? Where did you test it and it came up positive for steroids? What was the specific steroid? You do know steroid isn't just one thing. There's all different types of steroid. Who were these lab technicians? And what lab was used? Where's the receipts? And you do know you cannot test blood that's come off from a dirty canvas to conduct doping protocol. The blood would have deteriorated, more than likely be contaminated. Because I'm sure if he did test the blood like he's saying, it wouldn't have been until he got back to America. And most of the testing back then was urine testing. Where would you have found a lab to do blood testing? And did you pay for it? What kind of money was you making that you paid for it? With his Admiral hat on? Whatever McClellan's purse was, he only took about 30 grand home. Go talk to Don King about that. Yeah? You didn't pay for no testing. You lying piece of crap. That's why Gerald used to box him up. Because he's an idiot, Stan Johnson. Where was this place who just randomly let you test someone else's blood without their consent? Question. Specifically to the Errol, Spence and PBC fans. Because you know they know fucking everything. Yeah? Where was this place you can go and do that? It sounds illegal. I could be wrong though. That sounds illegal. Highly illegal. This is your receipt to say Nigel Benn cheated to knock out Gerald McClellan. That's why we love Sugar Ray Robinson. American, who took his L to Randolph Turpin and got his revenge the old-fashioned way in the ring. Took his L, and Randolph fought a dirty fight in Earl's Court, London. He did fight a dirty fight. Roughed Ray up bad with the rabbit punches. But, Ray didn't make no excuses. But Wilder and his fan base, and now Errol Spence jumping on saying Nigel Benn is a cheat. My favourite boxers are one Canadian and one American guy. I love all boxers from all over the globe. But let's keep it real. Some of you can't handle losing to a British dude because the accent, we're not street, we're not tough, we're not this. You don't deal with it very well. Not just you, yeah? Right, I got Jamaican blood. But I've seen Jamaicans, I've seen it in real time, Jamaicans getting manhandled by British dudes. And they don't deal with it very well. I heard one channel talking shit about boxing and didn't have a clue what he was talking about. He was talking like he had knowledge of the sport. And he has professional boxers on there. American channel saying, oh yeah, I think it was Nigel Benn. Every time he came to America, he got knocked out. No, my brother. Every time Nigel Benn went to America, someone got a beating. Somebody got a beating. He had 2 tough fights over there. That was against Jorge Amparo and Sanderline Williams. Tough motherfuckers, right? He only got a split decision against Sanderline Williams. Only a split. But then again, Sanderline Williams has got a draw with James Toney. He's got a draw with James Toney. Jose Quinones got blown out in 1, and he was durable. Power puncher. First man to knock out Doug DeWitt was Jose Quinones. Then Ben went to fight Doug DeWitt for the WBO title in 1990. He got decked, got off the canvas, and knocked out Doug 3 knockdown rules in 1990. Then he fought Iran Barkley and smacked him around the ring. That's why they got rid of the 3 knockdown rule. He knocked down Barkley 3 times. Very good fight. 1 rounder. Bob Arum used to call Nigel Benn his British Hagler. That's what he used to call him. He also knocked out Marvin Hagler's brother, Robbie Sims, in the 7th. That was in the York Hall, London. Yeah? I never forget watching that. As soon as they put the camera on Marvin, his brother got sparked out. And before you say, oh, he probably couldn't fight. Nah, Robbie could fight. He had wins over Duran and over Iran Barkley. Lindsey Morgan, he got beaten by our Nigel. Any more takers? Might be a few more, but they would just come up fights. And we saw what he done to Gerald McClellan. Yeah? We saw what he done, incapacitated Gerald McClellan and destroyed him. And now you want to take his win away saying he cheated. You do know they brought McClellan over here to destroy Nigel Benn. That's why you saw Don King after trying to kiss Nigel Benn's ass. And Don King had the WBC in his pocket, my friend, if you know anything about boxing history. Right?
Charlie brought him over here to bash me up, mate. Let me tell you that now. I'm saying what I want to say.
Where's the receipts from the WBC that Ben flunked out on the test? Where's the receipts? I don't see no receipts. Errol Spence, your receipts are as valid as people making them exaggerated nipple pictures of you, saying that you're juicing. And no, I'm not going to post the picture for a receipt because that shit grosses me out. I can't even post them pictures up. I didn't hear no volume from Errol Spence when the Charlo brothers missed tests in 2018, October the 1st to November the 20th. A WBC official informed me that these 6 athletes missed tests. And there they are. I ain't going to read out the rest. I'm just going to read out the Charlo brothers. Where was your volume then, Errol Spence? Huh? Joshua better not fucking be taking whatever you guys are taking up there. You know what I mean? Breast nipple juice or whatever you're drinking up there. Fuck that shit. There was idiots saying Ben wasn't exhausted after the fight. He must have been on some. These guys are idiots. It's called adrenaline. He was running on adrenaline. And if you look when he's talking to Gary Newbon, he gets amped up, he speaks. And then when Gary's focusing on McClellan, you see Ben rocking side to side. He's not right. His jaw, the left-hand side of his face is like a balloon. And he was took to emergency in the same hospital that Gerald McClellan was in East London. He had a shadow in his brain, which ain't as serious as it sounds, while they were trying to remove the clot from off Gerald McClellan's brain. Ben was never the same after that fight. Like he intentionally made the fight really hard so he could faint post-fight so he could get out of the testing. This is how stupid they are. So what if he had knocked out McClellan in 1 round and didn't take a punch? How would he faint and get out of testing? You guys are stupid. He did use Paul McKenna for hypnotherapy, and he thanked him for hypnotizing him and making him believe that he could win. You know, like the only way a British fighter can beat a top American fighter is to juice. Fuck out of it. You guys are too dumb to know. Gerald McClellan was a Kronk fighter. He won the WBO title against John Mugabe in London with Emmanuel Stewart. They fell out, I believe, over money after the first Julian Jackson fight, which Gerald won, and he won the rematch. But after the first fight, they fell out. Gerald wouldn't do certain things in training that Manny wanted to do him. He wouldn't take certain fights that Manny wanted to take. And Don King had control of the situation, right? He cheaped out and got this no-hoper who shouldn't have been in there. That's why he was trying to deflect of how Gerald McClellan regressed. He didn't want to train, because he was knocking people out in a round or two. Smashed up Julian Jackson twice in a row. This guy was trying to deflect from his inadequacy as a trainer and the fact that he was freeloading of Gerald. That's why Gerald used to punch him up in training like that. Old spit bucket boy. You hear no stories of Gerald punching Manny up? Because he knew Manny was a great trainer. He worked with Thomas Hearns and James Toney when Manny was in the Kronk. He knew how great Manny was. So he didn't disrespect Manny like that. Yeah, they fell out. But make no mistake, he had respect for Manny. But you know, sometimes when you're rolling with Don, like with Tyson and Kevin Rooney, they split and Mike lost a lot of discipline. Gerald reverted back to the slugging thing rather than the boxer puncher that Manny cultivated. And you know, look, it is what it is. Didn't you hear what Ben said? They brought him in to bash him up. McLennan thought it was going to be a 1-2 rounder job. Manny said it's suicide going over to fight my guy if you're not training properly. He was eating junk food and wrapping his own hands. Manny was the ultimate professional. And Gerald couldn't deal with his discipline. Gerald weren't like Tommy. Furthermore, let me calm down. You watched the first Julian Jackson fight with McLennan. After a couple of rounds, he's doing that blinking thing he was doing in the Ben fight. He's blinking, blinking, blinking. A lot of the damage was probably done.
John, just before I let you go, Fury USYK, what's been the hold-up on that?
Again, treat Tyson as the great champion he is. Stop trying to be the A-side. USYK is not Tyson's equal. Fall in line, you'll get the fight done. USYK is not worthy of 50-50. He couldn't sell the O2 out. So fall in line and you might get the fight.
I don't know what the whole of the fee was, but it was a 50-50 split that the Saudis offered. And they wouldn't buckle on that. They wouldn't buckle. And Aaron, Fury and Warren got in a hissy fit and said, we're the A-side, we're the A-side. They walked away. They said they're going to generate the money at Wembley. Even though, from what I'm hearing, even if Tyson gets the largest share of the split with the Wembley money, they still won't be getting what the Saudis were giving them if he splits the money 50-50 with USYK. Man, that makes sense. Hustling backwards. You know, there could be a few factors going on here. Maybe Fury right now isn't confident he can beat USYK and he's trying to build up his confidence before they go for it. Or maybe it's a psychology thing where he feels he has to get over on USYK. I'm the big dog. I get the biggest split. To get some psychological advantage. But from where I'm standing, it looks like he's trying to get out of the fight. Simple as. But I'm hearing he's got 3 opponents lined up Tyson Fury already. Now, outside of the Tyson Fury fans, the USYK fans and the boxing fans, we want to see undisputed. But Bob Arum and Frank Warren and Tyson Fury, they don't seem bothered about it. They don't seem that interested in it. And look, you can't make someone do something they don't want to do. Whatever the reason is he don't want to fight USYK, you can't force the guy into the ring. Now, they're messing USYK around. Maybe they're trying to frustrate USYK, break his concentration that way. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're not seeing much weaknesses in USYK's psyche. Could be. Look, a lot of you don't like Anthony Joshua. You don't like Eddie Hearn, despite all their efforts to get undisputed fights over the line with Wilder and Fury. All the efforts they've made, you don't like them, and you've attacked them for stuff that they haven't done wrong. They've been trying to do good by the game, and you've attacked them. And you've tried to elevate Frank Warren and Bob Arum, and now they think they're invincible. So I'm not even bothered about it no more. I'm not going to get animated. If there's an undisputed fight, there is. If there's not, I mean, it is what it is. You know, a lot of you bigging up TalkSport and Simon Jordan and the stuff like that, you know, the anti-Matchroom thing, you're bigging it up for no reason. Not even like stuff they've done wrong. Just, you know, we hate Eddie, we hate Joshua, we hate DAZN, and all of this shit here. You know, in fact, big up Tyson Fury. Like, the way you manipulate the mugs, you gotta give the man props. You gotta give the man his due. He's like some, what's that guy in Guyana? Is it Jim Jones? Yeah, like some Jim Jones-ish. I'm telling you, that Kool-Aid, the Tyson Fury Kool-Aid is potent. He's got 3 opponents lined up, apparently. USYK, go look for your next fight. Get your opponents lined up.